Well, good morning. It's a beautiful sunny morning here in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And this training is going to talk to you about something that a lot of students don't think about when they're preparing for tests. So we're going to talk today about somatic awareness. Somatic awareness is the awareness of your physical body as you are going through the process of cognition. And using your mind in an intense way, as we do when we take tests, very often pulls our focus away from the connection between the rest of our body and that mind that's doing all the thinking. Case in point, when you're thinking about your breathing, what do you think happens when you're nervous? You open up that test and you see all those questions. And very often the tendency is to either hold the breath or to have the breath get very, very shallow. So the first thing we want you to think about when you're doing any kind of test-taking situation, I want you to remember to breathe. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't just mean short, little, shallow breaths. I want you to really think about the way that as the test is laid on the desk in front of you, I want you just to make it a habit. Every time any kind of test is put on a desk in front of you, instead of holding your breath and looking, I want you to count to 3, take a nice deep breath, hold it at the top for a count of 3, and slowly release it for another count of 3. Then go look at the test. Those few seconds, what those are doing is you're sending your brain a signal that everything's fine, that you're going to be giving it enough oxygen to oxygenate that blood that's necessary to keep the brain moving and functioning well, and that you are not going to be in a state of panic or fight or flight or adrenaline that actually impedes cognition. It gets in the way. The second thing I'd like you to be aware of is your placement of your body as you're taking the test. It's very common for students to hunch over. A lot of times, especially the girls, I'll see this, they'll cross their legs, they're kind of like, their legs are crossed, and then sometimes they'll even double cross like at the ankle, so their whole lower half of their body is twisted up like a pretzel. They're hunched over, and very often their shoulders are up around their ears and they're wearing them like earrings. So they're tangled up and they're trying to take a test. But of course, pretzels aren't very good test takers. So the thing that I want you to do, in addition to being aware of your breathing and your somatic awareness, is to bring your awareness to your body. As the test is beginning, see if you can't get both feet on the floor, uncross those legs, sit comfortably in your seat. See if you can feel your weight in the seat. Be aware that you're physically in the room. Sounds very obvious, but a lot of students go into their head and they lose complete awareness, which would be fine, except that their ability to use their mind in a helpful way is actually being curtailed because they are cutting off their blood flow. They're putting a lot of unnecessary tension into their muscles, and that's energy that needs to be used for figuring out what's happening on those important test questions. So somatic awareness, it sounds like an obvious thing. Well, of course I'm aware, you know, yeah, I've got a body. Yeah, I've got a body and I'm taking a test. But just to build in a few little habits in your test taking can make a huge difference in your ability to raise your grades, to feel more physically comfortable, and also more confident as you're going in there. So remember your breath, remember that the shoulders need to release. You can even give yourself a couple of nice shoulder rolls as the test is beginning, or if you're in the middle of a big 3.5-hour test like an SAT, let yourself stretch in between those sections. Give yourself the gift of physical release that will allow you to reconnect to your body and therefore think more clearly. Wishing you all the best.